Monday morning. It's your girl Becky D, of course, bringing you some things that we need to talk about. I recently just achieved a goal of mine, and that was to walk like I did before, right? And leave it up to my mother. She will tell anybody, don't let her fool you. She's still recovering. And that's cool. That's cool. She stuck right there beside me the whole hour and a half that I walked of Relay for Life. And if you don't know what that is, get more involved in your community. Goodness, I'm just playing. But what it is a walk where they raise money in order to give to the American Cancer Society to keep those who are battling cancer, battling it and conquering it. Unfortunately, I have people who have lost the battle, but I've also had a lot of, family members and friends who have conquered it. Okay. And just during that time, during that hour and a half, I had to realize a few things. Okay. One thing that I realized is that I am not in a competition with anybody else. Okay. Many times people often think that they're in this competition with all these other people. I am here to tell you the only person you're in competition with is the person in the mirror. Okay. We get that so confused. We always compare ourselves to others, and we're always like, oh, but she has better hair than me, or he got more drip than me. That's all fine and dandy. All right. But during this health and wealth month, if you keep that mindset up that you're always in competition with someone else, then your mindset is wrong, right? The other thing is, when we get knowledge, we tend to hold on to it. But we'll get back to that, all right? So this competition thing is really what we want to focus on today. I can set all these goals and have all these achievements, but if I did it because I wanted to outdo somebody, or I was like, you know what, I don't know, I'm just going to use Michael Jordan. I don't have any skills and talents in basketball as he does, but I played, right? And if the only thing I focused on was I want to beat his record, right? I want to beat his record. And that's my competition. That's all I'm focused on. Did I ever notice that I've been beating my own records every single year? We get so wound up by having to be better than the person that's right beside us. But if we focus on our goals and we was like, hey, I went from making $100 extra each month with my business to now making $1,000 each month. And then you're like, okay, but if you look and compare it to the, let's say the guy who sells a similar product, he's like, man, he makes like $5,000 extra every month. Well, that's great for him. Great for his business. But you're so focused and tied up on his business and what he's doing and all this that you fail to see that you're not advertising it. You're not putting your brand out there, right? It's up to you to make it happen. The same way that person had to work is the same way you have to work. But sometimes we don't see it that way. We're just like, oh, well, that's my competition. Okay. I don't know how many, unfortunate, how many drugstores and alcohol stores or ABC stores, I don't know what I can say that will not get me flagged or anything. But you go to a certain side of town and they're boom, 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 boom. Do you think the ABC store that is literally 5 minutes or less from the other ABC store and or gas station or grocery store says, man, I got to lower my prices because Food Lion's having a sale right now where they can buy one case of beer and get one free? No, 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 no. What he does, I'm generically saying he, I'm sorry if I'm offending any females, but what they do is they build loyal customers. Because no matter what, you're where I'm going to go when I need to get my beer. That could be I show up and for some reason I don't have my money on me. And you like, you know what? You're here all the time. Just when you stop back by, we'll just add it on then. You're building that consistency, that rapport. They don't usually get that in Food Lion. Oh, you ain't got enough money? Sorry, you can't get it today, right? But if I remember that when I came into your store, your establishment, that you saw me so many times, guess who's more than likely to come back? Guess who's more than likely to go to your establishment, even though they're having the sale of a lifetime? Because I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I've seen the price of beer, and that sounds like a steal. I'm not gonna lie, but that is the way it happens, right? Now, I'm not saying you're not supposed to look at somebody else and hope to achieve the things that they have and stuff. I'm not saying that. You can have role models, but what we tend to do is get role model and competition confused. Okay, so Michael Jordan could have been my role model, but he doesn't need to be my competition. One, there's two different classes, right? I'm not pro material. I'm on street ball material. That's my level. That's my arena. That's my shine. So why would I try to compete with someone who is pro level if I haven't trained the way the pro level has? Right? Why would I try to compete with this other company? I'm going to go back to my Food Lion reference, right? When I don't have the staffing, the manpower, or the funding that Food Lion has backing them in order to run a sale such of that magnitude. Because honestly, if an ABC store does a buy one, get one free on beer, they're going to sell out and sell out quick and find themselves actually in the negative more than the positive, right? Because they do a lot of wholesale and case sales. They can make more money getting them, hey, you buy 6 cases, you can get the 7th one free. They make more money because now they're only giving one away for free. You see? So they know their class. They know, okay, maybe I can compete with the liquor store next door. I'm sorry, ABC store next door, because now I have more of opportunity. I have someone who's on the same playing field as me. But why are we looking at them as competition? Now, this is where I'm going to shift gears. I stated that we hold on to information. And we do. Naturally, in our DNA and all the history classes that you didn't pay attention to, withheld the information over the years. I remember growing up, my mom always tried to get me to read. I was not an advocate of reading. So the fact that I go to the library now, she is head over heels, excited. She's like, you did what? You went where? Are you feeling okay? But yes, I go to the library now. One, because buying a lot of books are like crazy expensive. And two, some of the books I won't really need to retain again. Now, psychology books and all that stuff that are, useful, right? I will hold on to them. But anything other than that, I was like, realistically, I'm not going to need this book on a paleo diet. I got what I need out of it, took some notes, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm good. I can return that. I don't need it again. But so many people get into the loop of buying books. That's neither here nor there. But she said, if you don't want them to know it, put it in a book. And it's scary how true that statement has been. So many people are in the phones, right? And we can Google. Google is amazing, right? She or he, I don't know what Google's pronouns are. Google will probably tell you is they, right? So Google can now tell you literally everything you want to know. But found this out, which was crazy, that there is a certain way that you need to word and type in the questions that you have for Google, so it will only show you what you want to know. Because Google does what I like to call the flash mob, right? Everybody remember flash mobs? They were super big in the early 2000s. Don't know why. I think it was because of Glee. And what they'll do is they're like, ooh, sponsored, right? Right after the bat, as soon as you type in your question, you got all these sponsored websites. Well, we know what sponsored means. That means they paid some money. There was some funding behind this. So you're going to see all these paid advertisements show up first. Still may not fully answer your question. Now, one thing that unfortunately I have been made aware of is that certain companies actually push the medical personnel to say, yes, this is okay, even though they know it's not. All right. Again, I'm just going to reference the ABC store example to keep it the same. So they're going to tell you in these commercials, don't drink and drive. But then they're also going to have a medical personnel get on the official news or whatever and say, having one glass of wine every night is okay, which is good. It is. Or they'll be like, oh, well, tequila is made from, whatever, and it just kind of smooth it out, right? Soften the blow, as we would call it, because they want you to invest in it. They want you to get to a level of intoxication that starts to damage some body features. So guess what? Now you need me, right? And it's all just a part of this big game. So if I can show you this advertisement that's going to say, oh, okay, you're trying to look up why, I don't know, why your hairline keeps receding, right? I'm going to show you some just for men and all these other things just so you will buy the product. Now, if you look at the product, all the way at the back of the packaging at the bottom, it will literally say, this may cause cancer, because half the things in the world now may cause cancer. But you just slapping it on your head, right? Just rubbing it on there. If you read a certain book, and some people, they've now made videos because they realize we're not a reading community anymore. There are different essential oils and herbs that will help you regain the hair that you lost and get a little bit extra. But guess what? It was in a book. So you didn't know about it. The other thing, too, is to pass down information between the different cultures. It was never officially handwritten, but it was passed down by word of mouth. Well, when the word of mouth of somebody who gets it and they know it's gold and they don't want to get rid of it because they want to put a price tag to it, they withhold it. And now they watch a community hurt while they just decide, hey, let me make some profit off of this. It's not benefiting the society. You are not being a functioning member of society, okay? You are now being what I call a menace to society. It's not people who they classify as gangbangers or doing drugs or all these other things. It's the people who's withholding the information that can help the world thrive. They go on talks and they do all these webinars, and then they only give you a piece of it because they need you to stay just enough sick so that way they can keep reeling you in with a new product. Oh, we got this product coming out next month, which was the other piece to it, right? And I'm going to spoon feed it to you. One thing that has always upset me was the fact that I never got a chance to cook in the kitchen with my great grandmother. To this day, no one makes spaghetti as good as she does. I think my mom came close one time. And I asked her, I was like, so you didn't get any of her recipes? Like, I know she had to leave a few cards or something. My mom looked at me. She's like, she never wrote it down. My great grandmother used to cook for the military school. All right. Like, literally, that's pretty much all she did all her life was cook. And that was because she was the best at it. All right. You didn't have to add seasonings. You didn't have to, doctor it up to make it taste like something. It wasn't too salty or too sweet. It was just right food. And to this day, not even my grandmother knows any of her recipes, knows any of the things that she put inside her food. All we know was that it was good. And it upsets me because I was like, I should have been old enough where I could be in the kitchen with her so I could get these things and retain it so I could then pass it on, and then I can always be eating good because I got the recipe. And so it kind of pained me because I was like, this is information that stopped at that generation. And the thing was, she cooked all day. She didn't just cook at 4:00, getting dinner ready by 6. She cooked the time she started making breakfast. So when breakfast got on, she had a pot on that was not for breakfast. That was for dinner. And at lunch, you're probably eating a sandwich because dinner is cooking. And it was a slow cooked meal because it would start to scent up her apartment, and you're just like, man, I smell good. But I didn't have as many problems as I did, right? So there was some goodness inside that pie. I don't know what she put in it. One of the things that she also used to force me, I can't even see make me, she forced me, okay, to do was take this nasty liquid substance. To this day, I don't know what it is. I don't know where to find it. I have to ask my mother. Maybe she remembers. I don't know. But every spring, she would say, all right, it's time for spring cleaning. Now, when my mother said that, it was time to clean out our rooms and clean the house and, the, the garage and all that stuff because we're getting rid of some stuff. No, 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 no. When my great grandmother said it, it was time to do an eternal clean. So, it's nasty liquid used to literally clean us out. But again, I didn't have as many ailments as I do now. I had allergies. I've always had allergies, right? But other than that, and being around other sick kids, I was a pretty healthy kid. My doctor always looked and he was like, wow, I mean, like, you ain't really got no problems. I had a few bone issues because of, he called it a growing pain. And literally my bones were rubbing together while I was not really getting taller, but I grew a few inches, I guess. And so he's like, yeah, that's all it is. Just a few growing pains. She's just, the bones are shifting and kind of settling in. But that was it. And then once I stopped, because great grandmother was now going into a state of mind where she couldn't really remember things, I started developing all these different diseases and illnesses. And I mean, don't call me crazy, but I'm starting to notice a pattern, right? And of course, my mom could have still forced us. She could have found where she got the stuff from. Honestly, I think it was a bottle that she had from like 1947 or something. I don't know. Because, it's just the bottle was always at the top of the cabinet and you're always sitting there like, I don't know what's in it. It looks weird. Glass jar. That's how you know it's old, right? But it's the things that we withhold that keeps us back, not only as a community, but as a nation. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to. I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to do it, but I do want to try to get there. Dr. Sebi's, and if I'm saying the name wrong, please forgive me. I literally, all right, still coming down off of a 4 mile walk that I haven't even like really done past a mile in months. So forgive me, all right. To his I want to say workshop, but it's not workshop. To his village in order to get my body alkaline to the proper pH that it's supposed to be and everything, and really see the afterwards results and really believe in the methods and stuff like that because he had knowledge that I am so happy to see continue to thrive. And most people, follow him like, oh, he could have moved here, could have moved there. But if you really look into the story, the source needed to be there because of the water that they do have there. Location is everything. If people don't believe me, just look into matters like this. Location is truly everything for this village in order to run and keep healing people the way that it has been. So I'm posing a question. Are you your competition? And what knowledge are you sitting on that you can bring to the table? Because, and I said this the other day, and it blew my mind, right? They didn't give you a school desk. They gave you a dining room table. And the only one that has a single chair at is the school desk. And I'm going to expound on that really quick. See, what so many people think is that, oh, it's mine, it's this. I can't give them that information. I can't have them knowing this. I can't give them this support and help. I can't say, hey, I can't take your pictures today, but Henry is available on this day if you want to reach out to him. I can't do that because I got to have it all. I'm greedy. You can just imagine the little cartoon just shoving all the food in his mouth, right? Because we're taught greed, even from a very young age. Now they're trying to do alternative seating, as they call it, which is more tables and chairs and, little wobble chairs and stuff, because they realize the society does not know how to work together. But that's because they sit you in a desk that has a table and one chair attached to it. And they expect me to learn how to work with the other person. But now I have to take my chair and table that's attached. I have to take my desk and move it to be close to somebody else. But we're still not working together. We still don't have to share a space. We have to share a floor space, but we don't have to share a space. I love it when I get a classroom that only has tables and chairs. And I like to start off, I like to make them work for their chairs. Because I was like, if you can't stand next to the person beside you at your table and work together, why am I giving you a chair? You don't need the chair. You haven't earned the chair. Once you understand that if we can effectively work together, I can now have a seat at the table, you become invincible. But if you continue to have the selfish mindset, like, man, I don't need them to do this, I get the chair my own way, you'll never be able to have a seat at my table or anybody else's, because you're still sitting at a desk. You guys, get out of the desk mentality, all right? Start sharing the knowledge that you've been holding on to and help another person who's starting in your field rise up to where you are today. As well as make sure that when you look in the mirror every morning, you remind yourself that I am my biggest competition. I have role models that I aspire to be like one day. But the only competition that I see is the person in the mirror. And I plan on beating them every single day. That's what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on beating my competition every single day. And I can guarantee you, I am willing to share the knowledge and the content that I have in order to pass on to the next generation after me and to continue and help them continue to thrive, okay? Not only that, I don't know how many times I've had somebody who is exactly my age come up to me and is like, hey, I'm trying to get into photography. I'm trying to get into education. And I take them along with me for the ride. And I get them involved. And I get them behind a camera. And I get that hands-on experience. And they message me to this day saying, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think? And I was like, that sounds great. Then I spin it back on them. Where can we go from here? How can you make it bigger? How can you get more money in your pocket, right? Because I know if I need somebody to back me up, if I can't do something, then they can. If they can't do something, then I can. I'm building a network of people that supports my future and not my past. My name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, and I'll be talking with you all tomorrow morning.